Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this video tutorial, we'll learn about the abstract classes in Java. It's a very widely used concept for explaining the Java features of abstraction. So Java provides the concept of abstraction through the abstract classes. So we'll go to the concept first and then we'll see the same thing, that is the concept of abstract classes using the Java programs using the online compilers here. We'll use this tutorialpoints.com online compiler and go through with the programs which will depict the use of abstract classes and its features in Java. Okay, so what do you mean by the abstract class? An abstract class can be defined using the abstract keyword, as simple as that. In a class, if you just give the abstract keyword before the class, then it becomes the abstract class. So if you just give the abstract keyword over there, then it becomes the abstract class, as simple as that. The abstract keyword is a non-access modifier. So we have access modifiers in Java like public, protected, private. Those are the access modifiers, and we have the non-access modifiers. So an example of non-access modifier is abstract. It is used for declaring the abstract class and abstract method. So abstract class is a restricted class that cannot be used to create objects. Yes, if you make a class abstract, then this class hello world can no more be used for creating an object of it. We cannot create an object of the abstract class. That's one thing. Next thing is that we should know about the abstract method. So an abstract method is a special type of method in Java which doesn't have any kind of body. So all other methods have a body, right? Inside the body you write down, the body is declared using the two curly brackets, and inside the curly brackets you can define the statements which will specify the execution of the method. But in case of the abstract methods, we don't have a body. We don't give the body. It should be looks like this. If the public static void main is abstract, then it will be looking like this only. We'll give a semicolon over here. Okay, and a practical abstract class example I'll give, and you have to also give the abstract keyword over there. This abstract keywords also you have to use. Abstract, then it becomes the void main becomes what? It becomes a abstract class because it is not having any body. So I'll go through with this in detail later. First we go through with the features here. So an abstract class, one of the feature is that it can have both abstract and regular methods. So these are abstract methods. We can have a regular method also, like public static void main. That's possible. The next feature is that we can have an abstract class without any abstract method. Yes, in Java it is possible. Without an abstract method also an abstract class can be defined. Yes, just you can give any other methods is also possible, or any other variables you can define without defining any abstract method itself. So there is a misconception among the students that an abstract class must have a abstract method. No, the concept is wrong. In Java we can define a abstract class without defining any abstract method. Now it's a very important point is that if you make a class as an abstract class, then we cannot create an object of the class. It will throw an compile time error if you try to create an object of the abstract class. Now we can define static methods in an abstract class that can be called independently without an object. So I'll give an example and show it to you that like any other static methods in any other classes, we can also define static methods inside an abstract class. It's permissible. It's not mandatory. Similarly, we have for the final methods. We can also define final methods. The final methods cannot be overridden by its subclasses. So final methods can also be created inside the abstract class. Again, it is not mandatory. It is permissible to create a final method inside an abstract class. The next thing is that we can have reference to abstract class type, although we cannot create an object of it. We can create a reference variable, class name space name of the reference variable semicolon. That can be specified. It's permitted, not mandatory obviously. An abstract class can contain constructors in Java. Like we can create the constructors of many other classes. Similarly, we can create the constructor for abstract class as well. And a constructor of an abstract class is called when an instance of the inherited class is called. It's a very important thing because we cannot create the object of the abstract class, but we can create the object of the inherited class of an abstract class. So whenever the object of the inherited class of an abstract class is initialized, is created, that time the constructor of the abstract class will be called. Now we'll see with a concrete program. This particular concept we'll go through with this particular concrete program, and line by line we'll explain to make it clear that how it's actually happening. So we'll not look at any other line unless until till line number 10 is clear in front of us, because this is the most important thing. You should supposed to understand up to this level first. Yes, so what you have done over here, actually we have given a class shape. We have created a class. Name of the class is what? Shape. As you can see over here clearly, it's a class shape. So class shape is an abstract class because we have used the abstract keyword. Now having declared this thing abstract, this class has now become a special kind of class which cannot be used for creating an object. So we cannot create an object of the class shape. Shape class objects cannot be created. That's the first point. Next thing is that you can see that the final variables can be used, final non-access modifiers can be used, and we can provide any other variables like we give for any other class in Java. Similarly, any other variables can be defined, like we have defined over here strings, shape name. This kind of variables and data types can be declared in any other type of the classes in Java. So it's true for the abstract class that we can define any kind of variables. But this thing is special. Yes, that we have defined one abstract method. So how this abstract method is defined? First the abstract keyword is used, then the method return type and method name is provided, opening bracket and closing bracket has been closed. It can have parameters. Okay, in this particular examples there are no parameters, but it's permissible to provide what? Yes, area, right? Sorry, it's permissible to provide parameters, right? Here the parameters are not there. Now it should be closed with a semicolon. There should not be any method body. Like here for this method we have a method body, right? For the abstract class, abstract method, there should be no method body. Next thing is that an abstract class can consist of non-abstract methods also. To give this example, I have created this thing. Public string, toString. So toString is a method which returns a string. That is returning a string. Yes, and return type is public. Sorry, the access modifier used here is public. So there is no non-access modifier like abstracted provided. So it is permissible. Like any other class, we can define any method without the abstract keyword use. That is, non-abstract methods can be a part of the abstract class. So now we'll see the entire program. Now we can see how we can use the abstract class. Now this class shape is inherited by extends shape this particular statement to the class sphere. The sphere class has a double rad, one variable. Now sphere class has a constructor. As I told before, we can create a constructor of the class shape. So it's possible to create a constructor of the class shape also. Yes, and you can write down anything inside there. It's permissible. Yes, shape constructor. You can define like this. It's permissible, okay? It's not mandatory also. So now we can see that in sphere, we are creating this constructor. Inside this constructor, we are initializing the variable of rad with the value which will be passed in a single parameterized constructor. That value will be initialized with the value of rad, correct? Now this void area method has been given in sphere class, correct? Which is printing area is equals to 4 pi into radius square. So sphere's radii is calculated in this way and it is printed into output screen. Area and use the concatenation of that string of this particular value will be printed into the output screen. That is what we are commented over here, area of a sphere formula. Now rectangle class extends also the shape abstract class. Yes. Here also rectangular named one constructor is used. This constructor is of the class of the rectangle class constructor, which takes two arguments, two values, L and W, and L is assigned with the value length and W is assigned with the value width. Yes. Now the width of the rectangle is calculated and it is printed over here into width. As you can see that the area is the abstract class, right? Abstract void area, correct? The abstract class defined inside the abstract. This is the abstract method which is defined inside the abstract class shape. So whenever we are inheriting the abstract class shape, we can see that the void area has to be overridden. We are overriding this. Here also we have done for the class sphere, and for the class rectangle also we are overridden the class, overridden the method void area. Correct? Similarly, there is another class triangle. For triangle also we are doing the same thing. We are using a default two parameterized constructor and assigning the value of first value to the base and the second value to the height. Correct? And also we are overriding the void area. So overriding the methods, overriding of the abstract methods, sorry, make it proper, overridden of the abstract method of the superclass is mandatory here. So void area we have done and we have created like this. So area and then 0.5 into base into height. For the triangles formula we have used half base into height to get the area calculation of a triangle you have done. Correct? Now from the hello world class, from the main method, we are printing that enter the radius of a circle. Then we have got the radius value is equals to 100, and we are creating the object sp of the class sphere by passing the value r. Then this line will call which particular? It will go to the sphere and it will call this particular constructor. So rad value will be assigned to r. Now if you call the area method, then what will be happen? 4 pi rad square will be executed. Correct? Yes. Now sp to toString, we are changing the value to this particular class object. Now sp is the class object that is calling to toString to change the value to the string values, and then we are calling sp.area. We are calling the respective class area method, so it will give the area of sphere. Correct? So sphere area method will be called, and it will be printed based on the value of 4 pi radius square, the sphere formula for calculation of the area that will be executed. Next, the length and width. Length and width of the rectangle is provided over here. Length is 150 and width is 125. And then we are creating the object of rectangle class. Name of the object is RC, the passing the value of L and W in the constructor, two parameterized constructor. So it will call the rectangle class constructor. Correct? And length and width will be having the value of 100 and 150 as we have provided over there in the value of two values in the two parameterized constructor while creation of the object. So these values are created, sorry, 150 and 125, that will be multiplied, right? We are changing it to toString, and then we are calling the area method by using rc.area. So rc.area will call this particular method, and the length into width's value will be printed as the area of rectangle. So the same thing we are doing for the we are getting for the triangle. Correct? By getting the base and height values, base is equals to 50 and height is equals to 75, when initializing with these values within the object TA. Correct? TA is an object of the triangle class, and we're getting this value. Now we are changing it to the string, and then you are calling it to area. And when you're getting into the area, what's happening? Area equals to 0.5 base into height, and that will be printed into the output screen. If you execute this, what we'll see in the output screen? We see that a particular calculation has taken place and the proper result we have got. Yes. So this is the use of the abstract class. We cannot create an object of the abstract class. Let's try to create an object of the abstract class here at the end. We'll see that the compiler will not allow. ABS-OB, abstract object, equals to new shape. Now if you create this object only, the compiler will not allow it, because then what's the result they're telling? They're telling that shape is abstract class, cannot be instantiated, that is object cannot be created. Shape line is giving the error. If you don't write this line, code is all fine and it will execute. It will do the certain job which is meant for. This program you can use as the default first program for your abstract class. Yes, this particular program, along with changing with this particular value of the shape class and all other things, you can get the clear understanding how the things are actually happening. You have to write down some new code over there, like the triangle class, and you have to use. You can create another object. You can change. You can just keep on doing what you know. One. You can do one thing, keep on experimenting with this code by changing. You can see that what the problems are happening over here. constructor triangle in class triangle cannot be applied to this line. It cannot be executed because in case of triangle class, we have not given the default constructor. Correct, na? There is no default constructor. There is the constructor which is provided what? With the 2 arguments. Yes? Yes. So this particular constructor in the triangle, you need to provide, and you have to experiment, keep on experiment with this. You have to see that how the code works differently for your class. This way you will keep on learning the thing. If you use super keyword, then you have to see that how the super keyword works and how differently the abstract class can be used for. See what I have done just now. I have just make a simple arrangement, a single change. What is that? The triangle class default constructor I have defined over here, and from the default constructor we call the super constructor. The super keyword is used for that purpose. Super open the bracket and close the bracket means we are calling the super constructor of the triangle. What is the what is the super class constructor of triangle? The constructor of shape class. We'll go to the shape class. This shape abstract class, we have declared the constructor and we have just printed shape constructor. So whenever the object of the triangle will be created, it will call the triangle class constructor, right? That will in turn will call the super class of triangle class constructor, that is the shape class constructor, and that's why it is printing in the output screen shape constructor. This way we can make the constructor of abstract class live and working and useful. Yes, I think so. For this particular line is fetching this particular output. So in our triangle class TA1, it is calling the default constructor of triangle, and triangle class default constructor is calling the super method, that is a super class constructor, because from the constructor body you are calling super means it will call the super class constructor, and the super class constructor is of same type, that is without any arguments. Default constructor can call only the default constructor, right? It is calling what? System.out.println shape constructor, and that's being printed. Hope the basic concepts of the abstract class is clear in front of you. For any doubt, you can put into the comment section. This program you will get into the description of the video as a note. You can get help out of it. Thank you very much.